Are we on?
Yeah.
Well, hello,
Thank you, this. Well, I'm not a boy, so that doesn't really work.
I'm definitely not eternal.
I wouldn't want to be neither.
So we are not the Eternal Boys. But we did watch them for 24 episodes. I interrupted Nick Knack. I think he's sulking.
No, you didn't interrupt me.
Just you made a joke. You made a comment in one of our recent reacts that like I never do intros.
No, you go ahead. I prefer you making the intros.
Anyways, so
Welcome to the story section.
Don't let him do the intro.
why?
Vord's intros are terrible.
No, Vord's intros have character. That's what we're calling it. Character.
You know who else has fucking character? Lambo. That doesn't mean I like him.
Anyways, but we're now going to get into the actual plot of Eternal Boys. So, we explained a little bit already in the first episode, but basically, a casting call gets put out for people above the age of, I think it's 30 or 35.
30.
30 to audition for kind of basically an old man idol group, right? Just like older men, so 30 to 45. I think our oldest member is 45.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these people kind of from all different walks of life end up auditioning for this idol group, some on purpose, some not. And they end up all getting cast and they live together, and it's basically them like training to debut as idols and trying to debut as idols and then building their audience, while kind of living together, just like normal everyday lives of like these like 30 to 45 year olds. We've got a pretty large main cast because the idol group is obviously, 5 people? 5 plus 1? Yeah? Or is it 6?
Something like that.
Well, 5, and then you had Nicholas on. And
Nikolai,
and then you remove him, so...
Yeah, whatever it is. It's standard group size for like, before people were doing like 18-person groups for like idols and shit. God, 17. The K-pop group was 17 members. Or AKB48, Japanese girl pop group with 48 members.
Oh, it actually is...
What?
6,
6.
not 5.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Oops.
Yeah. So for a lot of intents and purposes, right? Much like Fudanshi Koko Seikatsu from season 1, like these are short episodes, like very short, easy to digest. And each one basically just shows us kind of like an episode in their life, like a day or two, one situation happening, a little bit of backstory here, a little bit of backstory there. There's kind of, obviously the overarching kind of story is that they are debuting as an idol group, trying to kind of prove that they can all still succeed at something new at their age, which does go against Japanese societal norms, which is pretty fucking cool. And then also like building their audience once they've actually debuted. And so, I mean, I just thought it was interesting how kind of often they mention the fact that, normally if you have to start like a new career in your like late 30s to 40s, you're kind of like, and here's the thing, obviously, I'm speaking on this without being like a participant in Japanese society and culture, but like from what I've seen of like people saying online, it seems like in a lot of cases in Japanese society, you're ideally supposed to get a job like pretty early after graduating and then kind of stick with that job, like corporate loyalty, like job loyalty, and just do the best you can, move up the track as much as you can, and kind of like live your life, right? And so these men are all trying to like start a new career in their kind of middle age, and that's like something that's not done that often. At least that's from what I understand from it. Like they make that implication, which is pretty interesting, I think. And obviously I'm going a lot deeper into this than it needs to be gone into, like on this particular thing. I just think it's interesting.
I think you're going into it a lot deeper in the show, dude.
But it is a little interesting, isn't it? Because we don't necessarily have that same...
I mean, we kind of do, except rather than job,
depends
it's
on the
more
company.
line of work.
Yeah, but it depends. Like, even in the US, it depends on, like, company and stuff. Like, you don't go into Walmart planning to be, like, corporate loyal if you're starting from like bag boy, you know? Like maybe if you get into Walmart on a corporate level when you're young, you want to make it your life's work, but
being fair, that's not necessarily a thing in Japan either. There is the concept of the baito, the part-time job.
Yeah. That's what I mean. And I think for all intents and purposes, I think that makes some of the characters a lot more interesting considering because you're looking at these people who like obviously have already had a career, but for one reason or another, it did not work out.
Let's see. So we had actor, soccer player.
Child actor, soccer player, traditional work guy, a host, kind of like a part-time job and like cook person, like driver, cook, part-time job.
Host and then
and then teacher.
Teacher, yeah.
We're missing one.
God damn it. Who
We're missing one because there were 7.
Oh,
the manager, like worked in production, model, model, right? Which is a job that you do age out of, like point blank, period. So he was always going to have to find.
I do agree with you. That's definitely one of the most interesting aspects about this show.
It doesn't focus on it, but
the 13-minute runtime of the episodes really doesn't help it with that, though.
Yeah, because this it feels like rather than focusing on because they talk about it at a few points. They talk about how they're trying to they want to prove that these men at this age can still do something new, and some of their songs talk about it. But then in the 13-minute runtime, it seems like a lot of what you get is daily life. This feels like the daily life arc.
No,
more tolerable though.
I give this more credit than I give the daily life arc.
Yeah. But basically, so the first season is them up to debut, and then the second season is gaining fans, right? Like building their brand.
Yeah.
Essentially. I mean, that's a simplistic breakdown. There's some more stuff in there. There's also, they really pepper in the backstory. Like, we don't just get like a solid chunk of like backstory after backstory after backstory. That shit gets like peppered in when it becomes applicable, which I can admire. Like, there are certainly shows that would rather just do like a chunk of backstory all at once.
I think my problem is it just felt like the season didn't do anything interesting with its format until like a season and a half in, when you finally get the sports guy's backstory.
Aww.
The sports guy's backstory in his entire arc is the best handled arc in the entire show, in my opinion. Where you get his backstory, his connection to his son, and then there's that scandal where it looks like he's going to be like actually canceled online, which is actually like that's the first time the show feels like it really digs into like and it breaks down the culture of Japan's work and its idol industry.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt like outside of that and maybe the washed up child actor guy, those were the only 2 times I really felt the show did anything with its premise worth doing.
I think certainly where I saw the most lost potential was the host. I feel like there was a lot of missed potential in his backstory because we got a brief overview of his family situation and what kind of led him to try to do this, but then we got very little contextually about his decision to move into becoming a producer. And like I get that they were kind of hinting at it with like it being him writing the songs and stuff like that, but I feel like we could have used more than just kind of context clues and hints over the course of like a couple episodes leading to like him being more involved in the production than the actual action. I did like his turn to kind of like evil mastermind.
Oh no, he's definitely Yakuza.
In season 2, like that was very funny. But then they didn't stick with it. Like he didn't stay, you know? So I felt like there was a lot of missed potential with his character. I think with maybe the teacher as well. I feel like I didn't fully grasp what the teacher's deal was. And when they did, I feel like they explained his too late in the series. Like, because he was he had such a negative force so early on, and then you don't actually get the full backstory till quite a bit later. Felt like his backstory needed to come when he was being that negative force. You know what I mean?
I mean, it might have been nice if we actually saw more of the student and used that to tie in more to his backstory.
I don't think we needed the student. I just think the backstory needed to take place a couple episodes earlier.
I don't know.
I think My problem with season 1 for as an idol show is it feels like an idol show where you're basing it off what the idols say their backstories are, and you take it at face value. So it's got like all the sparkly fluff behind it that you'll get with the idol explaining their backstory. I preferred it when it got a little bit more real in the second season with the backstories.
I did appreciate just as a character, like for the reason why they chose him and for him himself, I did really like Sanada.
Which one was that?
The normal salary man. I liked him in particular because they chose him for the same reason that I liked him. Out of all the people there, he's the only normal one. Like, all the rest have, like, non-traditional or, like, careers that are a little bit, like, out there or fleeting. No, he had what should have been, like, a career job. You know, something that he could grow old and kind of, like, retire doing.
Teeter's not, like, a...
Well, we're going to ignore him because he was not well dealt with at all. But I felt like it was really nice to see. I really liked seeing him interact with the others because I feel like, you know, you've got like a child actor, a former model, now a talent agent, and like, you know, the host man, the J-League star. Then you've just got this dude who was supposed to work at this company until he could either retire or died and is desperate because he was laid off and no one will take him because he's now too old.
I see what you mean. I found him kind of boring.
I think that's the point.
Yeah. But
he is boring. He doesn't have...
That also means he doesn't have a lot of input whenever like a problem arises. Like when problems arise, he doesn't have a lot of input, and the input he does have doesn't feel like it's helpful.
I don't think he
The only time he really feels like an integral part of the plot is during that soccer plot.
But I don't think he needs to have helpful input. I don't think he doesn't need to be the down-to-earth character there to just suggest all the good things that the idiots like who are like didn't do normal things don't know how to do. I kind of like that he was quiet a lot of the time and didn't have a lot to say because a lot of the times they're dealing with problems or like, you know, they're dealing with like emotional issues that like he just doesn't know.
But then why is he there as a character?
He's the common sense character.
He's just kind of there as a fly on the wall for the audience to relate to, and I didn't relate to him.
I don't know, man. That's not the vibe I got.
It's a little bit of like the fly on the wall, but also he is the common sense character of like, what the fuck you idiots doing? Do this. It's just like it's to make sure.
I mean, because
like,
he has
don't go
input.
crazy.
Like he does like contribute fairly often. It's just not over the top and strange like some of the other characters sometimes. Although I will admit that, you know, he is not my favorite character, and that would in fact be Nikolai and his pickles. And Pepe. Because, you know, the pickles. It's all about the pickles. I love pickles. And I mean that in a completely non-euphemistic way. I just really love pickled foods.
I don't know if that got through for the mic right there.
Look. I certainly don't think that the show is an accurate representation of the way that idols are managed and treated in Asian idol industries.
No. Maybe some of the better groups.
Maybe, but this is very much, even for the other groups that we saw, this is, was it like...
picturesque?
Very picturesque.
Yeah.
You know, they're just super successful, doing what they want, living together and having fun. No.
I think it would bother me less, and it'd be more like an Ishiki, like, oh god, nothing happened. If the show didn't show moments of that, and if the show's entire premise wasn't founded upon being a subversion of the trope. And then it does the anime, and most of the anime doesn't feel very subversive.
Well, I don't think it's supposed to be subversive. I think it's just a different principle to start with. Instead of a bunch of, like, you know, 14-year-old boys or girls, you've got a bunch of 40-ish-year-old men. I don't think that's necessarily a subversion of trope, because it's still an idol anime. It's not like an anti-idol anime. It's not... I don't think it's supposed to be subversive.
I'll bring up more of this, like, probably in free talk, because I want to say some stuff for that, but I'll bring up some stuff for that.
I don't know. I did not see this as subversive at all. I just saw this as a different take on an idol show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there are different, like, idol groups, right? There is actually there are elder idols out there, actual elder idol groups.
Shinhwa!
Yeah?
Yeah.
There's the idol group that was based on debt. There's
Yeah.
the idol group based on how much you goddamn weighed.
Oh, yeah.
And I think there's an idol group based on ugliness as well.
Probably. But the one I think of is, well, and then that's the thing is that, the gentleman group, sometimes they talk about how the members of gentlemen are the same age as them, but they've been an idol since that feels a lot like things like T.H.E or Super Junior right now, because T.H.E has been an idol group since 1990 something, and they recently released a 20-year comeback. I mean, they're all in their late 30s to 40s. And they're still performing as an idol group, but they're appealing to a much different audience, obviously, because it's the people who knew them at the time. And so aging groups who are still together is really interesting. It's more visible in the K-pop industry for me because I'm more into K-pop specifically than I am J-pop. So my knowledge is all in the Korean groups. But the aging idol groups are interesting because they're still around. A lot of them break up. A lot of my favorite groups have broken up, or rest in peace. Some of them have died through one way or another, very, very tragically. But there are groups like Super Junior, Brown Eyed Girls, like T.H.E, who are still kind of producing music and around, just not as much. But but yeah. So it's not as if I didn't necessarily see it as a subversion of. I just saw it as kind of when we watch yet another isekai, and it's not necessarily it's not like Konosuba. It's not like a subversion. I keep saying submersive. Subversive of the isekai genre so much as it's just a different take.
So let me be clear. After by even 3 episodes into the first season, I didn't think it was going to be subversive. It was just the initial premise that made me think it was going to try being a little subversive.
Oh.
But by the first 3 episodes in, it became more of... if it's not a subversion,
you could tell.
It's a gimmick. And the gimmick's only going to go as far as you find that gimmick either funny or compelling.
I gotta be honest. I liked it. I think I found it enjoyable. I think... I have no real issues with it. And honestly, I did like this. This is going to get a decently good rating for me on Mal when I put it in.
I think the reason why this seems so happy lovey-dovey in terms of idol companies is because technically this isn't an idol company. I think this is more of an entertainer agency.
Well, okay, but
transition to
no, but idol companies usually have for example, right? Just because a company does idol groups doesn't mean that they don't also do actors and other things, fucking a lot of K-pop agencies handle actors, announcers, idol groups, all under the same banner.
Yeah, but
just
this
in different
is
divisions.
A company transitioning to that though, so it's not already set in place.
I mean, yeah, if it's their first idol group, I could see it. Maybe that's the reason it's a little different.
I think they have at least one more because during one of the backstories, they were recruiting for another idol group when they noticed that guy and started yet another idol group around him. Because the washed up child actor.
That was a different company. That was
company.
Twilight.
Yeah.
That was the other company entirely, Twilight, who have Gentleman and Stolov.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I'm not wrong, he went to another because the
child actor guy went to an audition for an idol group that was held by a different company than the one he ended up with.
And then someone there was like,
"You should check this out."
Yeah. And the other one, it was the boss lady.
Yeah.
She was there as one of the recruiters, and she formed the idea of Eternal Boys around that guy because she liked him so much. I think
no. That was at the same audition.
No, there was 2 auditions.
There was one.
Was there only one?
There was only one audition.
You're getting confused here.
Yeah, there was only one audition for the Eternal Boys. Just one audition, one company, one group of people.
Yeah, I think they might have formed it around the host. Was it?
No. The model came up with the idea on his own. It was in his backstory. He was like, because he based it on what he thought the previous owner of the company would like as a way to save the company. He was like, this feels like something he would do. And then the owner lady afterwards, Fukuka or something, she was like, okay, but if you want to do this, it's your responsibility, right? And then they held the auditions. And then as far as we're aware, the actor boy was in there, and then there was Sanada, and then there was the teacher, right? Those are
Yeah.
the auditions we saw for sure.
Yep.
But the actor boy had been to a previous audition for a different company for a different group.
That's what I mean by there was 2 auditions, though.
Well, yeah, but they were from different
yeah.
companies entirely.
Yeah.
And they didn't have the same auditioning staff. I think you're just getting the flashbacks confused. Because there were a lot of them. And we saw the audition with the group, with the company that they ended up with from like 3 different perspectives. Because we saw it from Sanada's perspective, and then we saw it from the model's perspective, and then we got a little of it from the lady's perspective. So
like I'm definitely wrong then about the group being formed around the washed child actor, but
No. It was not formed around him. But he did have talent for singing, and they were like, we could use that.
But I've said that he went to 2 auditions.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
He
That's
did.
what I was saying.
But he's the only one who went to 2 auditions.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Is that he went to the 2 auditions and he got sent to the one that got him.
Yeah, but by like just another random person who heard him singing, not by...
Yeah. That's all I'm saying.
We were talking about companies, and then you said that the company held 2 auditions.
No, I didn't say that. That's not what I meant, at least.
Isn't...
Okay, well, switching off, we should probably do Waifu Wars. Or Husbando Wars, which would actually be his true name, I guess, now. So, Husbando Wars!
Waifu Wars.
Husbando Wars.
Husbando Wars.
Chose War. Come on.
Why are you not participating?
I don't have a waifu.
Okay, but you still can chant.
I don't got that energy.
Why?
He's tired, just let him.
I'm tired too.
Yeah, but you got a waifu.
I have more waifus than I could need. There were females in the show.
They weren't. Outside of Boss Lady, and she's definitely not a waifu.
Yeah. She's scary.
Is there really nobody? Yeah, there wasn't really anyone else. Okay.
Yeah. Unless you want to talk about the fans.
Waifu Wars. Waifu Wars. Waifu Wars.
Saki.
So like, you know what? Let's pose a question. Who do you think I'm choosing? I genuinely want to know, because obviously you know that I've chosen someone. Who do you think I chose?
Guy who sleeps in a pod, I think, to preserve his skin and breathing.
Okay, so you think it's the host.
Wait. Oh, the pod? Oh, yeah.
The oxygen pod.
Yeah.
He thinks it's the host, Makoto? Or
You
Maki?
like Pickle Guy.
Yeah. Ironically, no. Neither of those are my waifu. I like Daisuke.
Oh, you didn't go
Yamanaka,
with,
the model. I mean, okay, Nikolai is my second choice. But it's the model.
You didn't go with the I choose them all option there?
No. No, I don't like some of them. Would not husbando some of them.
Cat best character.
Oh, Pepe-chan.
Cat has best slap.
I love Pepe-chan. It's fucking adorable. Well, that's disappointing. I thought we made it a rule back in season 1 we had to participate in waifu wars no matter how bad.
No, we made it a rule that we couldn't do all the waifus again after Vorn did it that way. No, we all got one time doing that, and no one's cashed in other than Vorn.
Yeah.
Actually, I did cash in once, I think. On something. I don't remember
Yeah,
what.
but that was like a couple seasons
Yeah.
ago. So yeah.
But like we did say that everyone has to participate, even if you just pick like the OP or like a cat or
I
a
like
random...
the ED of the very last episode.
Okay, that works.
Yes, there you go.
Cat for you?
Yeah, like I said, cat slap. Best cat slap ever.
Just that at the beginning.
Yes.
You know what? I was really here. You know what my biggest disappointment in the show was? That cat didn't scratch someone's face to hell and back. I was fully expecting someone to just get like clawed up.
Yeah.
And it didn't happen, and that was very disappointing. Pepe-chan, you should have done better. You should have clawed someone. It would have been funny.
They probably keep that cat well groomed, so I don't think he has claws anymore.
Grooming does not equal taking claws off, Vorn.
Okay.
No. And we are not getting into that discussion on here, because I will get far too mad about it.
Got it.
So we'll be back with free thoughts.
Dang.
Eventually. Like, comment, subscribe.
Bye, everybody.